So Halo Infinite has had some bad press around it for a long time now, and if you were to look at this from your average gamer, someone who isn't a Halo fan for example, you're not really gonna have a whole lot of faith in the game, and that's mostly because there are probably 3 things that stick out to you from what you've heard about Halo Infinite over the past year. Number 1 being last year's E3 reveal, which ended up causing the game to be delayed until this year. Number 2, which was some recent flighting that happened last month, which was honestly really freaking good for Halo Infinite, but then that kind of got undone by the recent news that there's going to be no co-op campaign until 3 months into the game's life cycle and no Forge until 6 months in. Now, because of these bits of news, I think that a lot of people don't really see Halo Infinite for how good it could be. They see it as a risk. They don't have faith in buying the game, and I think that could definitely get in the way of Halo Infinite's success. So because of that, I wanted to talk about the possibility of there being a campaign demo or a campaign flight. Unfortunately, there is no clear evidence or proof of any kind that this is going to happen. This is mostly just me talking about why I think it should happen. The most proof that I can find is this obscure sentence from Joe Staten. When people were upset after Gamescom talking about how they didn't see any campaign gameplay, he went on to kind of respond to the community and say, look, we want to focus on making sure that everything's as good as we can get it to be, and then he says in this follow-up sentence, and gameplay demos and trailers take a huge amount of effort to do, and they take away from bug fixing and other shutdown tasks. Now, it's interesting that he chose to use the word demo in that sentence, as opposed to normal flighting, which is what we've been going through, but, I mean, look, you can squint your eyes and cross your head around that as much as you want, but there's nothing definitive in that sentence. It's all a bit ambiguous. I think that having a campaign demo, or a flight, or whatever you want to call it, I think that doing that could really help Halo Infinite as an overall game, because it will be able to be in a good set of news for once, and it will hopefully stay there from that point onwards. Because right now, it feels like we've been getting constant compliment sandwiches by 343. They've been trying to balance out the good news with some bad news. And look, to be honest with all of you guys, I'd like to really think that we're past all of the bad news, but let's have a bit of a pipe dream for a second here. Let's actually think about how things might work if we actually got a campaign demo. Well, we know for a fact that 343 wants to involve as many people in the flights as possible, and that's going to really work to their advantage, because in flight number 2, I'd say they're going to probably have every single signed up insider being sent an invite, and this second flight is going to be a greater test of the servers and also making sure that people get an experience with the player versus player content. But as we all know, multiplayer is going to be free, so they want to really sell the game. They want people to buy Halo Infinite, so that means they're going to want to show off the campaign, and there's no better way to do that than by having a campaign flight. Also, if you do that as a third round of flighting, you can build up and actually get momentum, because assuming flight number 2 has some crazy good feedback, you can actually create some hype. Because there's one really important thing that I don't think enough people actually have thought about. Seeing a Halo trailer is very different to playing a Halo game, and making your own decisions and doing what you want to do in a Halo campaign is such a huge impact, and I think that would leave a much stronger voice and message across to all Halo fans. But let's not stop there. I mean, while we are dreaming about playing Halo Infinite's campaign, why not think about what they would show us? And I think they could go about that in 2 ways. One way that they could go about this is showing us an area of the campaign that is just jaw-dropping, something that surprises us and leaves us on a cliffhanger thinking, what, that's it? Give us more, give us the rest of the campaign. That would really motivate people to buy the game And the other way they could go about it, I guess, is showing off the improvements, how much things have changed since last year. So basically, give us the exact same mission as what we saw from last year's reveal. Allow us a small section of the ring and say, hey, 3 anti-aircraft batteries, you know the drill, do what you want, all yours. And give us basically that section of the ring to explore. In complete honesty, I think it really comes down to just giving us a couple of hours to spend in the game, that way we get a proper taste of it. Because if the campaign is as big as 343 keeps trying to tell us, then 1 or 2 hours isn't going to hurt the game, it's going to help sell it, especially when your multiplayer is free to play. So I think that a campaign demo could go alongside some more multiplayer stuff for a third lot of flighting. That way, just before release, everyone gets a really good taste of what Halo Infinite has in stock, and everyone can see just how much things would have improved by then. I can guarantee that there would be a lot of Halo fans, myself included, that would want to explore every nook and cranny that Halo Infinite has to offer. So, a campaign demo, being able to see everything that they have been working on and all of the little details that have gone unnoticed to the public, being able to play all of that and bring it to life, I think that would be something that would definitely create a whole lot of momentum and take up a whole lot of everyone's YouTube feeds. But yeah, I think that's probably a good point to call it for today. If you guys have watched the video to the end, thank you very much, appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I'd consider subscribing, help me to get to 1K before Halo Infinite drops, it would mean the world to me. I've been Kiv, and I'll see you all on the next one.